Hello everyone and welcome to my 500 subscriber bonus video. Today I'm on my lunch break and so you're joining me near where I work by the cathedral in Cologne, the Dome Cathedral. The dome does mean cathedral. It's not quite as festive now that the Christmas season is over, but next week is Carnival. And so I'm going to be doing daily vlogs on the Cologne Carnival experience, which is going to be even more insane than the Cologne New Year's video I made. So if you thought that the fireworks festival was a bit out of control, you ain't seen nothing yet. But in this video, what I'd like to do is just have a casual chat. This is probably going to be a video more for my hardcore subscribers, people who really like my book series, than for casual people. But the topic that I want to discuss with you today is just a little bit of background on how I go about making videos. Pigeons! Lots and lots and lots of pigeons! Oh, and some seagulls. Very exciting. I've been thinking about making this video for a while because the process of creating a YouTube video is something that was new to me, and I've been doing it for a little while now and getting a bit better at it. But I don't have any people who YouTube in real life who are my friends and who know me. So the only people that I can really talk to about how I do my YouTube stuff is you guys, because you might be either making videos or you watch enough videos where you get an idea of how people make it, or maybe you're wondering what goes into a video making process. Please try to pay attention to me and not just the birds. In particular, I want to talk about An Atheist Asks, because that series requires more original work than my Karen Armstrong book series. So just in case you're wondering how I come up with the ideas and how long it takes, I thought I would just, as the bonus video, talk you guys through an approximate example of what I go through when I make videos. When I first started my channel, An Atheist Asks was one of the first things that I came up with. And I spent a lot of years on debate boards coming up with what I thought were really provocative and interesting questions that usually bombed with the Christian audience. They just wouldn't take up the points that I was making. And so when I decided to start doing videos, one of the reasons I wanted to do it was because I thought that I did have some really interesting takes and critiques on religion that, I would put all this effort into putting up these posts on BeliefNet, and maybe 4 or 5 or 6 Christians would come along and just shit on it and not do anything or take it up in any way. So I had all of these previous threads that I'd started on topics, and when I wanted to do the YouTube series, I went through and collected the last 3 months worth of my posts, and by the end of that process I had over 50 video ideas ready to go, and I've probably to date only used 2 of them. So I come up with ideas for religious critique a lot, but even if I run out of ideas on my channel page, I can always go back to those old ideas. But generally now I don't have to go back to that old content because I'm usually stimulated by something new. From the first idea until the finished video can take anywhere between 2 and 3 months. And that's because for An Atheist Asks, when I get an idea, it usually takes me a little time to think about how I want to word the question and shape it a little bit, consider whether or not I'm phrasing it right or whatever else. So let's take, for an example, scientific predictions versus biblical prophecy. That was a thread that I started on BeliefNet because I wanted to explore the idea. And over time, I kind of narrowed down the format. So what would normally happen is I get an idea, and I'll think about it for a while, and I'll do research on it. And that kind of marinating process can take anywhere from 4 to say 6 weeks. By the end of that 4 to 6 week period, I normally have videos that I've done research on, and even on my channel, you can probably see in my playlist, there's something called research videos, and that's where I just chuck videos that I think might be an idea for a future video, or definitely a future video that I would want to make sure that I have access to. So generally by the time I'm getting ready to move into the production phase, I've thought about the question, I've watched some videos, I've done some basic research, and I've thought about how I want to construct the content of the video. When I first started making videos, I winged it way more than I should have. So I look back on the objective morality video, and it's just really humiliating and embarrassing. And it was only in September, but I can already see how much more my videos have improved. I've learned how to organize the videos in such a way to try to, one, do a summary in the first 30 seconds, because people will click off if they don't know what it is you're talking about. So now I usually try to do a summary in the first minute at least, usually the first 30 seconds. And I also try to say a little bit about why I find a topic interesting. That's something I've noticed in YouTube videos, that a lot of times people will make a connection, not by telling the audience, here's why you should care about this, but here's why I find it interesting, and I hope you do too. So I usually generally try to put in some sort of interesting question and also explain to people in the video what I'm going to cover. So that, in terms of my organization, has helped me out. After the pre-prepared intro bit, then I usually will, have the video already planned in sections. Again, going back to scientific predictions versus biblical prophecies, things that I had to take into consideration was, well, should I put up biblical prophecy first and then contrast it against scientific predictions? Or should I put up the science first and then contrast it against the biblical? And these are the kinds of decisions that I need to make before I start the video. And in that case, I decided, if you blow people out of the water by showing how amazing science is with its really hardcore, we reject theories that make bad predictions, we have the standard of falsification, we question even our own findings until we can observe them and test them and prove them, to establish them beyond, a real question, we can start to take that as fact. That setting that up would then make the Bible seem a lot more flimsy, whereas if I had done the Bible stuff and then done the science, people might have already forgotten how flimsy the biblical prophecy was compared to scientific prediction. So these are just kind of things that I have to take into consideration, and I'm getting better at it as I go along, learning how to time the length of the videos to try to keep them, for the book series, under 20, for An Atheist Asks at least under 15 or 10 or 15. And but covering the content in such a way that it's clear. So it's been an interesting process to get a sense of how much I can cover reasonably in a video without being too simplistic and without getting lost in the details and disappearing down the rabbit hole. And then that's really about it. So once, obviously the video is done, it goes up, and usually by then I'm already thinking of a second or a third or a fourth video that I could be doing next. And this video, I've done no prep for. So, I've done prep in my head, but I haven't written anything out because part of the reason why I wasn't making this video was because I was just putting it off because I felt like I had to prepare for it. So instead I just decided to go out on my lunch hour, get a little cup of tea, sit outside, and make this more spontaneous video. So this is me being definitely less prepared and organized than I usually am. And that's really how my videos come about. So at the moment I don't have any, my last idea that I'm working on is the miracles that Yahweh does for women in the Bible, and whether or not there are any that are not baby-based. And after that, I don't have an immediate topic that I want to take up next, although I am planning on transitioning my prep time into reviewing my deconversion videos, because it was my aim in the month of February to have the time to watch the pilot study videos and look back at my arc and kind of start to prepare that, because I'm planning on releasing those videos in March. So that's kind of how long it takes me to make one of these, and the thought and research that goes into it, and the creation process. And so for those of you who are my hardcore subscribers who watched all the way to the end, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your views. Thank you for your shares. I do appreciate every single one of you. It really does mean a lot to me to have cleared 500. That was my goal for the channel, was to get to 500 subscribers, and I've already gotten over that. And you guys made that happen. So thank you. And this is my thank you video to you, just to learn a little bit more about what goes on inside my crazy head. So until this coming Thursday, when the part 3 video of my Buddhist critique, I've been Christy, and you guys are always awesome. So I'll see you later on this week. Bye.